Yeah, big shout out to I think Spence. He started the Poyer for All Pro or We Riot. I heard about that a long time ago, probably in October or November. It's pretty cool to have the Bills family behind your back. We work hard, extremely hard throughout the year. So it's awesome that both of us get recognized throughout the league. And that's not even a credit to Mike and I either. That's a credit to our whole defense, our coaching staff, guys around us that that continue to help us play better. There's a lot of things that guys on our defense do that allow us to be able to go make plays on the football. So it's just a credit to, everybody that we work with, and it's an extremely awesome honor.
Code of conduct.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. God made me punch in accurate numbers. My castle won't crumble. What I tackle will fumble. I've been a leader when they ain't see it, but now my feet is up. According to me, royalty didn't end with King Tut. Crown on my head, clouds is at my legs. Big says sky is the limit. I look down on the ledge. I push the bar like I'm opening a cell. Hands in my cookie jar, you won't come out with a single nail. I need all of mine. The weight of my shoulders won't fit on a scale. What's a king to a giant? Well, Goliath fell. Even if we playing chess, dog, this king can't be checked. I make all my moves on the board. I invented my steps. I'm a king, the blood of a ruler. I feel like Mansa Musa. Make your squad disappear like landing by the Bermuda. Triangle, look at it from my angle. I'm a king, the closest thing to being one of God's angels. I'm a king. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king.
Yeah, man. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is the Code of Conduct with the King podcast. I am your host, JSpenceTheKing. And man, I'm ready for it tonight. Because I got three special guests. One is a special guest that everybody gonna know, and then two is a special guest that y'all should know. So let me start off with the one that everybody know. We got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Booby Dixon. What's going on, Booby?
Not much, man. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Man, I'm sorry last week, bro. Like, I got to tell you publicly in front of everybody, I'm sorry, man. That was on me, 100%.
It's all good, dog.
Hey, and then so also because Booby, he spent some time in Buffalo. He also spent some time out in San Francisco. And San Francisco 49ers are actually in the playoffs. I didn't think they was gonna make it. Sorry, y'all. I love y'all. I didn't think they was gonna make it. They in there. So I got two of my brothers joining me tonight too. I got my man Jordan and I got my man Jason. Let's start with Jason. What's up, bro? What's going on with you?
It's a beautiful time right now. The Berman Bowl's still alive. We're here with Booby, who's repping both sides, and we're here with Jay Spence, who does his thing. And, when the 49ers are out eventually, whenever that is, like whether that's with a Super Bowl win or not, then we turn into Bills Mafia over here on this side. Like we don't root for NFC teams. So this is a beautiful thing right now. So, yeah, it's good to be here with you fellas.
And you know what? That sounds good because that's the energy Booby gonna bring all night. So I understand. Like it's one of those two teams. I get it. So, yo, we got my man Jordan in here, too. What's up, man?
Oh, man, I am thrilled. It is the best time of year, playoff football. I just want to throw this out there. I grew up at Candlestick. Niners fans always have a special place in my heart, but the Buffalo Bills are the best fan base in all of professional sports. So I'm thrilled to be here and hear what a Buffalo and 49er legend has to say, as well as you, Jay Spence. So thanks for having me back on, man. Happy to be here.
Man,
and
I
Booby,
appreciate you.
Booby, us Niners fans, we always been trying to pull for you to get more touches over here, man. Like we were always on that side of man, Booby need to touch the ball a little bit more. I'm not trying to kiss ass or nothing like that, but that's realistically the energy that we had.
Right, man. And that's the energy my teammates had as well. You know what I'm saying? But man, when you behind a Hall of Famer and you kind of going through, Frank don't want to come off the field. Y'all know how much of a dog he was. Yeah. I want to come off the field, man. So I try my best to be a team player and be professional about it.
Well, so let's get this started. We're gonna get right into it because I feel like this conversation, having Jason and Jordan in here with me, I feel like it's gonna really be one of those discussions that we might actually have to cut it short because I know they got lives to live. So let's get right into it. Before we start talking about the Bills, because that's easy for me. I can do that all night. Let's talk about, I'm shocked, bro. I ain't even gonna front to you. I picked against you guys, and I know Jason actually jumped him. He was like, "Yo, so where you going? You picking against us against the Cowboys?" And I'm just like, "Yo, I can't do it." And the reason is, it's not hate. Y'all know I'm a 49er. Like, I got love for the 49ers.
Right.
The thing for me when it comes to the 49ers is that I don't trust Garoppolo, and B, I don't trust Garoppolo. Like, it just comes down to the quarterback play for me. And so first I'm gonna swing it to Boobie and just tell me, because you was at the game and it looked like you enjoyed yourself and y'all won. So obviously you enjoyed yourself. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what's your outlook right now on them in the playoffs as it stands right now? This week coming up, y'all got Green Bay. Y'all got a juggernaut. So what is it? What are your feelings going into this game?
Oh man, I think we match up well with these guys. I think we known for beating Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? I know when we was there, we used to smack them around. You know what I'm saying? So, and I watched them play a couple years in the past, play each other, and Green Bay kind of been winning some of them. But in my eyes, we own Green Bay. So this weekend is going down. You know what I'm saying? They in trouble.
Okay. What you feel, Jason? Because I know, obviously, I know you asked me straight up, like, yo, so you really gonna pick against us? So where you at going into this weekend? Like I said, to me, it's a juggernaut. But Boobie's like, yo, we've been smacking them. I intend to smack them again. Where you at with it?
Well, that's the thing, is that the team that met them in the home opener is not the team that's going to be there this week. And a lot of the differences in terms of where they are in both sides is really going to determine that. And when you actually talk about that home opener, the 49ers had 37 seconds to close that game out. And unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers was just better than they were that day, right? So when you think about Elijah Mitchell didn't play in that game, Jawan Jennings was not playing, and Mohamed Sanu was a slot guy. The interior O-line wasn't playing as well. The cornerbacks are playing much better. This team is still physical enough to put the Packers on their ass a little bit. Like, right, they still don't want it. They don't want that sort of physical type of game. The 49ers don't match up well. That's why many people, Michael Irvin was all week. Anytime he did a radio hit, I hate this matchup for the Cowboys. I hate it because you know what the 49ers do, their style, it transcends months. It transcends playoff time. It works any time of the year. So right now, the 49ers are still in a spot where a little bit, yes, they're playing with house money because, like you said, Spence, you didn't really expect them to get all of this way, especially when they were at 3-5. But their matchup and the way that they present themselves physically is a problem for every team, including the team that's in front of them this week.
So, well, Jason, or actually Jordan, let me ask you this, man, because the way I was looking at the team, so obviously, like I said, everybody who listens to me know I'm out in Phoenix and I have season tickets to the Cardinals. And so obviously we got a chance to play you guys, the Cardinals, that is, they played you guys twice, right? So I saw them here, I saw them there. I don't really feel like what we saw out of the season for you guys, or at least what I thought I saw from you in the season, is kind of what was, it's not what I saw Sunday night against the Cowboys. It looked like a team that actually had a better game plan than what I'm now. Your coach, to me, has a great offensive mind. I think he's one of the best of all time. So when I say that, I'm saying this with respect, but I mean, like, when you go into these games, a lot of times I didn't feel like you guys were a matchup nightmare, but apparently that's what it is. So what was it for you? And I know you've been watching film, like you've been watching film, bro. So what was it, the biggest thing for you that happened this past Sunday that's like, okay, this is the reason why we won. Like, this is what happened.
To be honest, it started with the defensive line. That defensive line goes 7-8 deep with guys who are not only just adequate bodies you can throw out there to get, rest for your starters, but genuine quality players. They picked up Charles Omenihu from the Texans for a future 6th-round pick. They picked up Jordan Willis last year for a future 7th. So these pickups went under the radar. Both of those guys gave Tyron Smith, who I believe is going to be a Hall of Famer one day, absolute business over there on the left side of the offensive line for the Cowboys. Tyron Smith had allowed 11 pressures all season. He allowed 7 in this game. The 49ers recorded 22 as a team. They hit Dak 14 times and they sacked him 5 times. So to me, it was all about physicality, because we've seen spurts of the 49ers offense playing at a high level. Just like you mentioned, Kyle Shanahan can scheme it with the best of them, but that defense really came out and made a statement. And I think it just was an overall tone of physicality. And I think that's something that Boobie can appreciate, because I remember a lot of games at Candlestick watching them come out and punch other teams in the mouth. And no matter what you do in the week leading up, no matter what you do X's and O's wise, you have to have an answer when the other team comes out and hits you in the mouth. And it felt like the Cowboys just never recovered from that initial punch the 49ers threw.
And then, so for me, and so Booby, you went to the game, like we talked about. After the game, man, Dak Prescott and the coach was out there talking like, blaming it on the refs and acting like it was the refs' fault. How about like you come out and do what you supposed? Like I feel like I held Dallas's offense in high regard. Since Dak came back, I'm like, look, these boys is gonna be what they're gonna be because Dak is back and blah blah blah. And you blame it on the refs. Like, what about you being one of the most high-powered offenses in the league?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that as a former player in the league? I feel like it's one of those unspoken rules where it's like, no, you actually do get up when you're a representative for the team and you get up and you have to speak. You take responsibility and you let the fans know, like, yo, this is where we're going. How do you feel about the way Dak and the team handled that they just handled the L wrong?
Right. Of course, we all know that's not the route to go. And I think that cleared that up. I think earlier today he came out with a little post or something saying that he was way off, and he was right, and I think that also once again speaks to how tough, how straight up that character is. He a high character guy. I knew he was gonna do the right thing about it, but you got to look at the pitch, the big picture. They've been undisciplined in the highest penalty team all year. You know what I'm saying? And they had 14 in the game. You know what I'm saying? That was writing on the wall. Once you put out those kind of performances, that's kind of, you kind of set the table for something like that to happen, which happened this weekend. So, they got to look in the mirror. They undisciplined. They kind of physical, but not as physical as us. So, they got some stuff they got to fix internally before they can start pointing fingers at other people.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to this game, and because I want to get your takes on like what I feel like the Green Bay 49ers game is gonna look like. We're gonna talk about that, but I got to swing it for a second because my man Boobie over here representing two squads. He a blood in the Crip at the same time, like he rocking the.
But
Bills
we're not beefing like that though. But we're not beefing like that, right? Like it's not. I don't think it's like blood and Crip is like. It feels like if he played for the Eagles and he played for the Cowboys and y'all were doing like. I don't feel like it's that like. He repping two different sides, but I wouldn't say it's like rivals like that. Like like we pull for each other.
I wouldn't even call it a rival because to me, like look, and I know I might get beat up in the comments, and maybe I might get yelled at by the network after this. OJ played for y'all, and he played for us. That was the best running back in our history with the yard. You know what I mean? Like that. So I've been messing with the 49ers for a long time. Yeah. But let's pivot real quick over to Western New York, man. Now, when you was here. Mm-hmm. The big bad wolf, the big bullies on the block was the New England Patriots. Yeah. And, bro, did Josh Allen whoop that ass or did Josh Allen whoop that ass?
Man, that was impressive. I was really looking at the game like this shit fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is definitely not happening. But it was. You know what I'm saying? Them boys were tearing ass up. But, man, I think that just goes to show, how hard they prepared. They all looked like they was on one accord. Josh, he looked like he loved the cold. He a damn snowman. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that was a great performance. Great performance.
I feel you too, because I woke up that next morning before, because of the way the playoffs are going, you don't have to worry about so many games and all that stuff. And so I woke up early and I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch this game just to make sure this thing really happened. Because like I just couldn't. Like you were in Buffalo, so you get it. Like, it was like, this happened? Mm-hmm. No, man. So, but the first thing I want to talk to you about is like the last like 5 weeks now, actually, because going into the playoffs, that adds another week to it. Last 5 weeks, this running game is picked up, man. And Devin Singletary looks like either he's the real deal or he looks like he can be that guy that's going to hold us over until we get the real deal. How are you feeling about the running game from the beginning of the season to now? Like now that we in the playoffs, it's completely different. They look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they definitely made adjustments. During the Patriots game, that first loss, they wasn't running the ball like they should. Josh wasn't taking off like he should. It just didn't seem hungry to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, they're not playing all out. You got to be all out to beat them guys. You got to be all out to go win a championship. So, I think they starting to turn it on at the right time, and they're gonna make a run.
Yeah, and so the thing that I'm really liking is how he's running. Like he's running with he seems angry when he runs, and earlier in the season it just didn't look like he was trying to finish the runs like that. And he's not the biggest dude, and I know you're not tall, but I feel like you got more body. You know what I mean? And dude, he's running like you. He's running like you mentioned Frank earlier. He's running like Frank, and I know we had Frank for a minute there to kind of mentor him, but just like what do you see like? So for you as a running back, and when you watch running backs, what is it for you that makes you like, man, this is what I need? Like, what is it that makes you excited when you watch a running back play?
Man, for me, it's I'm always thinking big picture. So, I'm watching how they line up. I'm watching how they, I'm watching their steps. I'm watching how they get to their assignment. I'm watching how they block, catch the ball, how they make their reads. They pace, getting to the hole and watching them explode and dry their feet and, just how they finish the runs. So me, I'm watching all that. And I seen Singletary, he been doing a damn good job doing that as of late. I haven't seen Moss as much. I don't know if he hurt or what's the deal.
Healthy
I don't
scratch.
think he's hurt.
Okay.
Well, he's been active. I feel like because Devin has been like they've basically just said, okay, we're gonna give one guy the bulk of the carries and we're gonna let you get into this rhythm, which is something we haven't done for a couple years now. They've been trying to do this running back by committee thing. Down there out there in San Francisco, Debo should be the damn running back. I mean, what's going on?
I like Mitchell as well. I like Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's a hard runner.
Yeah. But I'm saying Debo is that dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Debo is what Kyle misses with Mostert, that home run hitter, right? Like that guy who can like one cut it back. And today Inside the NFL came out for anybody who has Paramount Plus, and I know you guys don't care. Most of the guys that are in here are Bills fans, right? But
hold on real quick. I'm sorry. CJ Spillman, I mean, he's always welcome. You can tell CJ if Boobie want to text CJ, I send him the link, but he wasn't supposed to come in. But CJ can absolutely come in. Go ahead, my bad, Jason.
No, you're good. So today Inside the NFL came out and there was the K'Wan Williams interception. Shout out to K'Wan. He's from Jersey, uptown, northern New Jersey, up by me. And after the interception, Debo yelled at Kyle, "Let's go, give me the ball. Let's go, give me the ball." And the next play, it was that play where he saw the cutback lane and he accelerated through for a touchdown. Debo's different, man. Debo is having a year right now that people don't understand and they're not fully grasping. For as much praise as he's gotten, I feel like it's still flying under the radar because for a large portion of the season, Cooper Kupp has had a phenomenal year. No one's trying to disrespect him or downplay him, but he's done it in one way. And Deebo Samuel is the most valuable player on his 49ers team. Kind of wanted to go back real quick to Devin Singletary and what you guys were doing because, like I said, I kind of keep an eye on you guys a lot. When Thurman Thomas is hitting the gritty pregame in a Devin Singletary jersey, Devin Singletary is the one, right? Like he's about to have a big game. Like, and it's been week after week where Devin Singletary has kind of cemented himself as that guy, right? The New Orleans game, you saw Matt Breida get some touches, and we kind of had heard, in the grapevine that, your offensive coordinator said, hey, we need to get him more touches. But Devin Singletary is doing what you guys thought he would be doing when you drafted him, where you drafted him. And it's really nice to see. And he's been playing very well. As far as what you guys did against the Patriots, thank you. And here's why. Because it has leveled off the Mac Jones talk just for a bit. And what I mean by that is the people that propped him up after 7 weeks have to also adjust what they said in those 7 weeks with the last 7 games of the season or the way that things ended. One story doesn't tell the other better than the other, in my opinion. Those 7 games that he played well isn't indicative of where he's going. And these 7 games that he didn't play well aren't indicative of where he's going. He's a rookie. And that's it. Bottom line. And there was a time where people were like, oh, well, the Patriots running away with this number 1 seed. And that. Y'all need to slow down too. He's still a rookie. Like, he's had some good games. And the only reason you guys really lost that game to them in that cold weather game was one big run from Damian Harris. if you limit that one big run from Damian Harris, you guys are still in a position to win that game, and you probably win that game. So for the Patriots, a lot of that stuff was like premature crowning.
Not to cut you off there though. It wasn't even that one big run, because if you look at it, they scored 14 points. You know what I mean? So the thing is, when you have an offense with Josh Allen, I've been saying this, like I've been pounding the table about this. You have an offense with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, right? So the defense still, even with that big run, they could have given up. Listen, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, hey, y'all gonna play the Patriots in Buffalo and you only gonna let them score 14 points. In my mind, I'm thinking, hell yeah, we gonna smack them boys, because like, you know what I mean? Like, I know we got Josh, we got Diggs, we got Knox. So like, even with that, like, it took a miracle of God when it comes to the weather for them to be able to, because our game is Josh. Our game is let's air this thing out. Let's get this thing down the field. That's what it was. I'm sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to make sure, because the thing is, our defense actually took a bad rep for that. Like, they give up too many big runs. Okay, how many points did they give up? Right. Oh, they played against so-and-so and they gave up. How many points did they give up? Like, y'all talking about these yards, but the thing is, it's like they make a ton of stops, and then if they do give a big play here or there, the difference is, other teams give up big plays through the air. You know what I mean? Okay, I know you want to limit the big plays, period. But we're not giving up big plays in the air because we got Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde back there, 2 all-pro players back there. So I just always defend my defense, because not that you were coming at them, but a lot of people would have took that and been like, yeah, see, the defense did that damn thing all season. We got 2 all-pro and should have been more if Trey didn't get injured. Go ahead, my boy, my bad.
No, you're good. It was just that one run, right? Like, if that one run it gave them 7 of their points, right? Like, they realistically couldn't do anything on offense, and that was my point. And that's why Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde were so upset at that press conference, because they should have been. When you ask questions about should you be embarrassed as a defense, no, you shouldn't be embarrassed at all in any way, right? Like, and none of those guys, credit to them, they never turned it on like, oh well, offense should have scored. Like, they never once said any of those things. They just kept it to, this is what we control, and they controlled what they could, man. So, like, for me, I was very vindicated by this win, because elements are all out of the way, and now, everybody wants to laud, this Patriots team. Oh, they're going to take away this, they're going to take away that. Bill's going to do this, Bill's going to do that, but you still don't have enough firepower to match up with the Bills, and I'm glad that they were able to jump over that, because they are the bully, and they were prematurely crowned, halfway through the year. Like, and that was the thing more than anything, especially, like, no questions asked, Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback this season, right? Like, I don't think that we have to have a discussion about that, but the assumptions about what he is now in terms of the hierarchy in quarterback play from 1 through 16 was a little bit overblown in those first few weeks. And now you get to understand, yeah, he's a rookie too. So, like, I just want people to keep that same energy. When you propped him up and didn't incorporate the rookie stuff, don't come to me now in these last 7 weeks when they weren't playing as well and say, well, he's just a rookie. Nah, you should have been like that the whole time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And quarterback play in general, whether it's young quarterback, like rookies or seasoned vets, like, the thing is, I'm with you 100%. Like, the whole time, you got to keep the energy throughout the season. Because I always had these rants about Baker, and now I'm hearing, oh, well, his shoulder was injured. Or see, man, I don't want to hear it. He had one of the deepest rosters and blah, 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 blah. So, look, we got to keep the same energy we're going to have when they playing well as they do when they're not playing good. Talking about this quarterback play, let's swing this to Boobie and then swing this down to Jordan. You guys have a rookie quarterback out there as well that now next season coming up, when he really hopefully gets his chance to shine in this offense, he's not technically going to be a rookie anymore, but it's going to be his first full season. Let's start with Boobie, because the Buffalo Bills just went through that with Josh, right? Like, I mean, obviously not just now, but we went through it. We drafted him. He didn't play well his first year. He had moments, and he showed us some things that made us say, yo, this dude is that dude. Second year, he improved, but not like, what are your expectations out the gate for a guy out there? And, because I like Trey. I do. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think Trey going to be a great player. First of all, they got to get him, they got to get what's set up around him. You know what I'm saying? In which I think they have a good team already around him. But what people got to understand too, when you putting a young guy in there, like, you have to have all the support within the organization as well for it to work. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, can't just put a guy in there and then half the people over here believe, and then have the people over there believe, and you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they have to be all in, and everybody have to believe and fully support the decision of him playing, you know, get behind it. And then once you do that, once he get that experience, man, he gonna take off. He gonna take off.
So, Jordan, I'm gonna toss that down to you. Kind of same question. What are your expectations, coming from Trey next year?
You know, I expect him to just come out and hit the open man in this offense, because I think Trey has a spectacular arm. I think his physical abilities are obviously there, but I don't expect him to come out right away and be what we saw from Josh Allen the last 2 years and make these spectacular throws and carry the offense. Because I think that while that comp is thrown around a lot, I think it's so unfair to Trey because Josh is such a special player. I personally think that Josh has the best arm in the league, better than Mahomes, better than anybody else that people want to throw into that conversation. I'm taking Josh's arm over anyone's. So I don't expect Trey to come out and carry the offense the way I see Josh do it. And you guys have a whole bunch of playmakers. I don't want to only give credit to him, but he is a special talent. What I want to see from Trey is hit the open man. Kyle's going to get guys open, go through your progressions, know when to check in and out of runs, like do a lot of the little things, stuff that they're not going to throw on the, top 10 on Sports Center, or maybe have on, Twitter all week, highlights everywhere. I don't need that from him, and the Niners don't need that from him. They just need a guy who can extend plays when things break down. But the thing is, with Kyle Shanahan, the majority of the time, he's going to get a guy open for you. And really the biggest reason why I felt like they drafted Trey Lance is because as good as Jimmy Garoppolo can be at times, there's been far too many times where he doesn't hit the open guy, or he misses an open read, or he holds the ball too long. Like, there's just so many little mistakes. If Trey Lance can just come out and not be, like, I hate to put it this way because I think he's capable of so much more, but if he just can come out and be an average NFL quarterback, the 49ers will be a successful football team because of how good the roster is. And then everything else you get on top of that is a bonus. We've seen he hit a corner post to Debo in that game against the Texans. I can't remember the last time a 49ers quarterback hit a corner post. Can you, Jason? Like, maybe Colin Kaepernick? Like, it's literally been half a decade since a 49ers quarterback took a shot down the field like that. So I definitely have an expectation that Trey is capable of that. I just don't think it's necessary for them to be successful. And I think that he is so young and so raw that there needs to be a patience. Because I'm sure you remember, I know from my experience with a lot of Bills fans, I know there was a lot of unrest with Josh Allen early on. And I don't think that a lot of people can confidently say that they always knew that he was going to end up being as good as he is now. And I think that there needs to be a level of patience with Trey Lance too. So again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but if he can just come out and execute the offense and be efficient and not put the ball in harm's way, the rest of it will kind of take care of itself, if that makes sense. Whereas I'm watching Josh Allen, like that first touchdown pass he threw to Dawson Knox last week is ridiculous. And then you think about the fact that he did not the same thing, but almost the same thing a week earlier against the Jets. Like, that's insane, dude. It was one of the best quarterbacking performances I've ever seen. If the 49ers get 60% of that from Trey Lance next year, they're going to be the 1 seed in the NFC. So my expectations are just come out and be the guy that we know he can be.
He just need that and support.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, and what I was going to say there is too, like, I don't think it's fair when people try to make those type of comparisons, because you're right. There was a whole lot of people in Buffalo, Josh's rookie year, who were beginning to be frustrated with the fact that he wasn't accurate. Now, I mean, obviously we protected our guy. When other people talked about him, it's like, yo, y'all can't talk about Josh. But internally, a lot of people were talking about Josh. And so the thing is, it's going to come. He's a rookie, and it'll be a second year, but he's technically a rookie, and he's going to make those mistakes. But like you said, if he can just kind of do the things that they ask of him, your coach, man, Shanahan, to me, I promise you, there's not many. I love Brian Daboll out in Buffalo. I love what he's done. He's transformed his offense to make it look like a modern day NFL offense. But man, Shanahan, like, I've just seen him do great things with so many different quarterbacks and so many different teams where it just is like, okay, just put him anywhere and the ball's gonna move. And I love that about him. But yeah, it's not fair to put other than coaching. It's not fair to put the comparisons on these young guys like that. So, Boobie, I want to shift for a second to a little bit lighter of a conversation. I know we're talking football. We're going to get back into some football, but I feel like one of the reasons why I love the San Francisco 49ers fan base and the team is because of the fan base. And same thing about Bills Mafia. The reason why I'm so proud to be a part of the fan base is because of all the, like, not just the crazy stuff that people think we're about, like the jumping through tables and stuff like that, but like you've been around Bills Mafia to know that it's so much more. Yeah. I don't want to put this against either. Like, I'm not saying put the fan bases against each other, because I think both fan bases are great. Can you just kind of give two stories, one about your time in San Francisco and then one about your time in Buffalo, where it made you kind of separately fall in love with each fan base?
Okay, I say with the 49ers, you know, because originally that's where I started, you know what I'm saying? And when I came in, you know, I was a high ticket. You know, I exploded early in the preseason and had a great preseason my first year, and the fans was on me, man. Everywhere I went, you know, they was, you know, supporting me. You know, that goes back to what I was saying about Trey, you know, too. But, you know, back to what I was saying, you know, everywhere I go, they was supporting me. You know, they was pumping me with that love and like, yeah, bro, you gonna be good. You gonna do something. Just stick with it. Just stay positive. Stay working. You know, we love your game. So, you know, it was just, and then, you know, the 49er fans travel well. So they everywhere. So it was just the overall support everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? They just supporting you and pumping you up. With Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? Buffalo really embraced Booby Dixon. You know what I'm saying? From the go. You know, they was, you know, in the stands, Booby. You know, every time I made a run, they were Booby. You know, at first I thought they were booing me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is these folks booing me? You know what I'm saying? But now, man, more than San Francisco did. They really embraced Booby Dixon. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I always be grateful and thankful to them, you know, for that. So, you know, that was just kind of the difference in between both that made me fall in love with them.
Yeah. You had so obviously with them, with the 49ers, you got a chance to run with you know, the legend. He's the future Hall of Famer of Frank Gore. And then in Buffalo, man, you ran with some boys too. You ran with CJ Spiller. He's one of my favorites. You ran with Fred Jackson, and you know, you was with some boys. So talk about the differences in schemes, like as far as not necessarily in the scheme. I don't need to turn this into a schematic show, but more so talk about just the experience for you, running with Frank. Like Frank is Frank, like that's the dude. And then coming to Buffalo and having that different vibe with Freddie, who didn't get it the same way Frank got it. Like Frank, like I said, he's legendary. Came in how he came in. Freddie came in, you know, he had to fight for it, you know, division 3, 2 or whatever it was. And so it was a completely different vibe in both environments. Can you just talk about that?
You know, with Frank, man, it was like, you know, like I say, he was a tough guy, you know what I'm saying? And Frank was a little bit, you know, he loved to prepare. You know, he first guy in there, last guy to leave. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you wasn't just gonna take his spot. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't just finna get his spot. The organization loved his dirty draws. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't finna just take Frank Gore's spot. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I had to deal with that a lot, but I also learned from Frank a lot. Just watching him prepare, watching him, you know, be that tough guy, you know, in games. He didn't like to practice a whole lot. You know, they couldn't touch him in practice. He wasn't that same guy in practice, but on game day, he came with it. You know, the difference in Fred now, Fred was that guy in practice. You know, he didn't have a golden rule where you couldn't touch him. And he was just like Frank. You know, first guy in there to leave. He put in the work. You know what I'm saying? He prepared. But yeah, that's just kind of where they stuck out a little bit different for me. When I got there with Frank, you know, Frank didn't, you know, and I'm not trying to, you know, talk bad about Frank, but Frank didn't want to do one-on-one linebacker drills every day. He wasn't finna go up against Pat and Bo every day. You know what I'm saying? He just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I was first in line when it came to that. But you know what I'm saying? It was when I got to Buffalo, Fred was a little different. Fred got up in there. He you know, he got it out the mud the whole time. I want to say about him. And I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the difference between them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
That was eye opening.
So it is because like when you just in mindset when you think about Frank Gore, you thinking like you see his work ethic, you see his workouts, you see all this stuff, and in my mind it would have been like, okay, Frank's that dude. He's ready to hit anybody in the mouth, like practice, game time, and I know game time he's ready, but I mean like you would think in practice he's like, I'm gonna show these young boys. I don't care what side of the ball you on, I'm Frank. Like that's how I felt like it would have been.
Man, you couldn't touch Frank. If you touch Frank, you're getting kicked off the team.
Wow.
He had the red shirt treatment.
Damn, Boobie and Harbaugh let that slide?
Man, he let that slide. You couldn't touch Frank.
Wow.
Frank kind of made the rules when it came to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't going for that. Everybody knew that.
Shout out to Vader Joe. He says, who would want to go up against Pat? And I mean, that's real. I get that. But Boobie just said he did.
I was ready.
Yeah.
All right.
I wasn't dodging no smoke. When I came in my rookie year, I was telling them, I'm like, man, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did the whole time. You can ask them about me. When I came out to practice, I was loud. I was energetic. I was physical. I wasn't backing down from nobody. When we got ready to do one-on-one running back drills, I was already knowing Frank didn't want to do it. He'll do it some days, but on an everyday basis, he did not want to do it. So I jump in the line. Hey, Pat, come on with it. Let's get this over with. Let's go and do it. But, yeah, man, that's just what it was.
Hey, man, you're just cementing your 49er legend spot more and more. Like, all you have to do is keep talking. Like, that's it, realistically, at this point.
Because hearing that, because, I mean, we have Frank in Buffalo towards the end of his career, too. And so, like, in that sense, he was like the mentor to Devin, like, for Devin's rookie year. And that's the same, like, our experience with him was the same thing. He's first in and out the building, but he was showing Devin, like, no, in practice, this is everything you needed. Like, this well documented that was a completely different mindset towards the end of his career, rather than the time you're talking about. So that's just wild to me, man. Like wow.
Well, when you go to different teams, stuff change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff change. That's how I go.
So, Jordan, do you have any questions specifically for Boobie?
Yeah, I had a couple. First of all, is there any chance we could get you out there on special teams? Because you are somebody who 49ers fans will remember. People make a mockery of it, and I hate it because special teams is so important, and people don't understand how important it is until you're bad at it. The 49ers have had issues all year, and for me personally, I'm 26, so the best special teams I've ever seen is for the 49ers was that 2011 season. You guys had the Tony Montana squad, you, Spillman, Costanzo. Is there something that you're seeing from the special teams unit that can be corrected? Because my biggest concern is that they'll be okay on offense and defense, but like I'm worried that special teams is what's going to cost them in these big playoff games. Like, is there anything you're seeing that can be corrected? And like, if you had any advice for them, what would it be?
I think they rallied to the ball pretty good. I think, they just have to be more assignment, locked in. You know what I'm saying? I think, now, I think Josh Norman gave up the fake punt. I don't know what he was doing on that play. He was just running. But he got to stay.
Josh Norman?
Yeah. And I seen on one kickoff, I was watching, 23 let the returner get outside of him, which that could have got ugly, but it didn't because, like I say, they rallied to the ball. So it's just lane assignment and just playing off one another. That's what we did so well. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy that set the edge, on kickoff. They knew everything was coming inside because when nobody was just going to knock me out the box and run around us. So CJ and all our 4s and 5s and guys inside of me that set them up to make a lot of plays. So, that's all they got to do. They got to play off each other. They got to be unselfish. I knew I wasn't going to get the tackle every time because I knew the wedge was coming at me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really want to send off returners at me because they couldn't block me. So they'll send a wedge. That's back when they could do the wedge. But they'll send a wedge at me. And I'm like, I know I'm finna go out here and fight two big dudes. But I ain't have no problem with that because, I was just about it, and I was ready to go win. But, that's what the 49ers got to do more of. They got to be more unselfish and more disciplined, with what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Then once they do that, it'll show up better.
And you don't have to be so modest. You had 6 tackles in 2011.
Talk to him.
I was there for a lot of them, man. I remember that. I was in Candlestick watching those games, man. And I'm serious. I think that unit was so special because that was the first time in my lifetime that I can really remember the 49ers being this physical, dominating team that other teams feared. And it felt like you guys brought that right off the opening kickoff. Like they did not want to run that ball back against you guys, and you had a huge part in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're thinking about kickoff, man, you got to think, it's set up for the 5s and the 4s, the guys in the middle to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's not really set up for guys on the outside to eat. You know what I'm saying? We really contain guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying about 23 when he let the ball get outside of him. I know he was going in there for the tackle, but his first job is contain. He didn't do his job. You know what I'm saying? So do your job first, and then you get the tackle. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is,
Man, I love that question because anybody who listens to the Code of Conduct knows, like, special teams matters to me. Like I say it so much, and that was one of the things that I was going to bring up last week when I gave you the wrong time. I was going to talk to you about that. So it's good. So the Bills have improved on special teams, and I don't know. I'm sure, like when you watch the 49ers, I'm sure you do the same thing when you watch the Bills. What's one of the things that earlier in the season we struggled a lot, and I feel like they've improved, not so much with the Gunners and not so much on the side of, like, containing and stopping them, but more so on the receiving end. Why, man? Like it was so frustrating to me, and I don't even know how to ask this question. So I'm gonna just talk about the Buffalo Bills special teams because I don't even want to ask it the way I'm feeling it.
Man, I think they special teams played pretty good. I love their returner, Isaiah McKenzie. I think he played pretty good, but in that last game, I can't remember nothing they did bad. They was all over.
Yeah, no, not the last game.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as the season go, I got a chance to watch a good amount of their games. Like I said, they seem solid. It didn't seem like they was a bad unit. They flew to the ball. I don't have really, nothing bad to say about them. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, keep complimenting the defense and the offense, because what special teams affect most in the game is field position. You know what I'm saying? When you can get that good field position, like with the 49ers team we had, the reason why our defense was so good at times, we was pinning jokers back. We wasn't letting people get big return. We set a record in that 2011 season for the net average on returns. Nobody was getting nothing. And that played a big part. We didn't give up a touchdown until we made it to the Super Bowl. But you know what I'm saying? That plays a big part in setting up your team. You know what I'm saying? So when you got those guys get downfield, covering those punts and covering those kicks, that's important. You know what I'm saying? Because the defense, now the offense has got to put together 10 play drives, 9 play drives. They got to really grind for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest difference. Long as Buffalo and San Francisco keep doing that on special team, they both gonna be good.
Before I toss it to Jason for a question for you, I guess so. When we're talking about special teams, I always try to also give some love to very specific people. At the beginning of the season and during the off season, there was a portion of the fan base who I feel like, and I'm not saying this in a condescending manner. Like I know a lot of times content creators or people who watch a lot of film, they always get to, well, you obviously don't know what you're watching. I'm not coming from that perspective, but I do understand that a lot of people don't appreciate the value of special teams. Mm-hmm. Can you just talk just briefly for a moment about Tywan Jones?
Oh yeah, man, he a great player. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that I watch personally because I love players who go out there and they relentless and they get after it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I think what he doing is kind of how I was, as a player. I was fearless, unselfish. So I love his game and I love watching him.
I don't know why, but just in general, people undervalue and underappreciate special teams, and it irks me, man. Like it irks me so much because it's truly one of the most important parts of the freaking game, man. Like when we had Andre Roberts, I loved Andre Roberts because of what you were talking about, field position. Every time we got the ball, last season, Josh was starting on a 35 to 42 to 40, like every single possession. But all right, I quit because I'll go on a whole tangent about the doggone special teams, man. Jason, what you got from my man Boobie?
Well, I'm glad that you're talking special teams because my favorite portion of the game are kickers, and I love them so much. I love all of them. I love Robbie Gould. I love Mitch Wishnowsky. I love all kickers. So special teams is very important. Obviously, I'm joking, Spence. If you don't know that's my shtick. Yeah, no, that's my shtick on, when Robbie Gould misses a kick, I get on him. But he's been playing very well the last 2 weeks.
He did good. He did good in the game. He was the difference.
He was the difference the last 2 weeks. Those punts also, like I'm not here to disrespect Robbie Gould. I'm just joking around.
Yeah.
But real quick, Boobie, for you, 2 questions. One is a little bit quicker. How much influence did you have on Tony Montana being the song for the special teams unit? Was that something that you brought up? Because I'm a big Future fan over here on the East Coast, and I'm fighting for my life over here because people on the East Coast don't want to understand that there are other people from other portions of the country that make good hip hop, and Future is amongst them. And Tony Montana is something that 49er fans will always have in their heart for that specific reason. Like, this man is an Atlanta Falcons fan, but he performed for the 49ers in that game. How much did you have to do with Tony Montana being the rallying cry for that?
Well, as far as the song, I think that was kind of brought up about Ahmad Brooks, Blake Costanza, trying to think who else. It was a lot of different parts that played into that. But as far as now the dancing and the movement, that was all.
That's you, right? That's what I'm saying.
them jokes, they were scared. They were scared. I'm just telling you, they were scared to do it. But see, me, with the personality I am, I came out to practice every day like that with high energy before we would run down and cover kicks. I'd be doing my little moves and juking and jiving, and the coach would be like, "Ooh, you gotta get serious." I'm like, I am serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm just loose like this, but I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? But I just told him I wanted to have more fun with it. It's so hard. It's so hard doing that stuff every day and being on that schedule every day. I'm like, man, I don't care what they say. I'm finna have fun. We finna have fun. And coach was like, we better not get penalties, blah, 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 this and that, because y'all out there. I said, coach, we just can't all do the same dance. But if we do, our different little dances, we good. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they came about.
I'm happy to hear that, Boobie. And then I have a more serious question. And obviously we're on a Bills podcast, so respectfully, I'm just saying this. It's just, what was your favorite 49ers team to be a part of while you were here?
That Super Bowl team, the one we went and lost it. As bad as I hate to talk about that sometimes, but it was that team, man. It was
definitely held though on that kickoff return, right? They definitely held on that, right? Like, so we don't like get past that.
Definitely.
All right, cool. I'm good. That's all I need to hear, man. From somebody who actually played in that game, that's all I need to hear. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
You know what?
Is that 11?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was that 11 team because of the ride and because of where we went. You know what I'm saying? Making it to the Super Bowl, man. As youngins, that's what we dream of. You know what I'm saying? That's what we all dream of. So that team.
Well, so let's because that's a great segue. I know. Jordan has another question, but before we ask Jordan, or before Jordan jumps back in, it's a great segue because now with respect to both teams, I feel like the Bills are a contender. Like they're looked at as, hey, okay, whoever's coming out of this game is probably going to represent the AFC. That's how the talk has been around the country today. So when you're talking about the Buffalo Bills, man, as a former player who made it to the Super Bowl with a mobile quarterback, with a team that was fun, with a team that had great chemistry, and I kind of asked you this last week, but we had those connection issues. So what advice would you give to Josh Allen, to Devin Singletary, just to everybody right now? Like, look, this is where I went through it, and this is what I'm telling you y'all need to do, or not even necessarily need to do, but just, hey, this is my advice to you.
First, they got to block out the noise. Wasn't nobody, really giving us a chance to go all the way, but us ourselves, we knew we could do it. We knew with the way we prepared, with the way we was together, we knew we could do it. And once they do that, then they just gotta, just play the game. Play the situations, play the plays. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about, oh, this is Aaron Rodgers, this is Devontae Adams, this is Tom Brady. Forget them. You know what I'm saying? Just play your technique. Play what I want to say. Play within the defense or play within the offense. Don't do stuff off strip. You know what I'm saying? So all 11 is on the same page at all times. So if they can do that, they can go far.
I feel like it, man. I'm with it. What you got for me, Jordan? Boobie got me almost ready to run through a wall, and I don't feel like I got any walls left to run through in this house from Saturday. But I feel like I'm gonna run through one of them.
So I got to ask, Joe Staley's back here doing, he's working for NBC Bay Area. So he's back. The fan base is getting a taste of just how funny he is and how, humorous he can be. Was there anybody in that locker room that ever gave Joe a run for his money? Like, would you say he was the funniest person in that locker room, or who, if he wasn't, who would you give that title to in your time there?
Definitely me. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is go ask him. You ask some guys who came in there every day and had it lit and was talking trash to everybody about anything, they're going to say, Boobie, he crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was just me, But you had guys like CJ Spill, Blake, Joe. Who else was keeping it? Like Crabtree, guys that like to joke and keep it loose, I would say those were some of the guys that was also, had, good energy every day. They just, but man, I won't, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I was that guy for us, when I went missing, it showed up. That's all I heard from guys. Dang, man, it ain't the same without you no more, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all Frank and the rest of the guys used to call and tell me, man, because, that was my thing. I knew I didn't have a big role, for the team, but I knew what I could do well, and that's bring energy, bring positive energy, and just be lit all the time like I am. So that's what I did.
And that's another thing I feel like people underestimate. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I appreciate the honesty because, I as funny as I think Joe Staley is and all the stories that we've heard, like, I'm glad that somebody's speaking up and saying, no, hold on. Like, he was a funny guy, but, I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. But it makes me feel good too about that team, right? And like y'all seem very close knit, and from an outsider looking in, it's good to hear these things because then it validates all those things that we kind of saw from the outside speculating and with those teams, man. And that's why you guys were so special for those years that you were here, is because you guys were that close.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of people, like we were talking about, special teams are underappreciated. I feel like chemistry or like your because you just kind of, to my, with all due respect, I feel like you underestimated yourself there. You were like, I know I have a big role, but like that was a role, like and the energy that you brought to the team, without it, man, like they just weren't the same. And so, I mean, I feel like a lot of times coaches or GMs make the mistake of like moving on from certain players just based on whatever. And it's like, you just really ruined the room, man. Like you really ruined the room.
That's exactly what they did. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the hard part of the business. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that none of us like. When they feel like it's time for them to go a different direction, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So let's get it. We got about 6.5 minutes left. So let's real quick. Let's go around. We got 2 games this time to kind of talk about real quick. So instead of talking about the games from that perspective, what I want to talk about is realistically, and I mean this for real, Boobie. Like, and you've been real with me all night, and I can tell that you just a real dude.
Yeah.
Realistically, what's the chances of a Berman Bowl, man?
Hold up. So what's is that the Bills versus the 49ers?
Yeah, Chris Berman, like every year when he was on
every year,
like
he called that every he called it for 7 years straight, and he was this close for 7 years straight. It was either the Bills made it and the Niners didn't, and like it was literally this close. Like the Berman Bowl is this.
Well, I mean, I think the percentages are high. If you look at what the Bills did, they dominated. You know what I'm saying? And I think Kansas City in trouble. They already showed that one time that they could beat them. So this week, if I'm Buffalo, I'm confident. You know what I'm saying? And the Buffalo fan base should be confident. And as far as the 49ers go, we all watched what they did. They knocked, Dallas around. You know what I'm saying? They bullied Dallas a little bit. So, how could you not be confident in a team like that? And Jimmy, he played good. So long as Jimmy playing good, we all should be excited.
Okay, so
I didn't like about what happened in that game. Jimmy was throwing at the end, and he threw that interception. I thought we were supposed to be running the ball. I thought it was supposed to be all runs. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to get to a point where it was all runs, and we should have put them away. But we kind of threw it around a little bit and kind of played with our food a little bit. Against Green Bay, we can't do that because Aaron Rodgers already showed us one time he only need a couple seconds to do it to us. So we need to finish them with the ball in our hand. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so you don't have to participate in this part of it if you don't want to, Boobie, because I know it's different. But I'm gonna ask Jason and I'm gonna ask Jordan their score predictions for the game against the Green Bay Packers. Kind of give me your keys to victory, and then after we do that, then we'll do the same thing for the Bills coming up against the Chiefs. And like I said, Boobie, if you want to participate, we always love your opinions, and but I also understand being a player is like, I want to go out like that. So it's up to you. But let's start with Jason on this. So let's start with your team, man. What do you think this game is going to look like, when y'all play this weekend?
It's going to be a 28-24 matchup. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is too good to count out, but the 49ers have what it takes to slow him down, and you never can contain Aaron Rodgers. And what I will point to is what I pointed to the last 2 weeks. The Rams, the Cowboys, the Packers, punch them in the mouth and they'll take their ball and they will go home. And they will go home. And even if that's home or away, no matter how it is. And the 49ers team that they faced in week 3 is not the same team that they're about to face right now in terms of health and where their personnel is. Elijah Mitchell didn't play one down in that game. Trey Sermon did. Mohamed Sanu was their number 3 receiver. Now you got Juwan Jennings. Everybody is as healthy as they can be, provided Warner and Bosa play. Like, that is something that I cannot sit here and act like is nothing, right? Like, Warner and Bosa need to play in this game. It needs to be all hands on deck. But the 49ers stylistically don't match up well with the Packers and have enough, provided Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't turn the ball over. But I am going to have faith in that because Kyle Shanahan knows how to beat this defense. They were 37 seconds away from going 3-0 against this team in the home opener with all things against them. Garoppolo playing his first half of football, the first half. Trey Lance right before the half, and then after that, the team catching on. I still have to have faith in this team, and I still believe that the 49ers will have enough to get it done, but it will be a 28-24 matchup in a cold Lambeau Field, but the 49ers physically can dominate that sort of type of game.
So you got the W for the 49ers. Let's get it. What you got?
I do.
What you got, Jordan?
Man, I pride myself on being objective. I'm a fan of the sport, first of all, more than anything. So I like to think that I'm not biased or tilted, but there's something special going on with this 49ers team right now. And I've said it in the Rams game. I said it during the Cowboys game. Like, you can throw logic aside because the way that these guys are playing, they just find a way to win. I think the biggest difference is in that first game at home, the Packers were so good at getting the ball out quick. They schemed around the deficiencies they had at O-line with the amount of starters they had out. I would love to hear if I'm wrong because I know Boobie played on that frozen tundra in January, but I would have to believe that that's going to slow down that Packers passing game a little bit. And it's going to make it tougher for them to get the ball downfield the way they did the first time without that pass rush. So my score prediction is going to be 20-16. I think it'll be fairly low scoring. And I think the biggest difference in this game will ultimately be the 49ers being able to shrink the field in the red zone and hold the Packers to field goal attempts. I do think that Jason made a great point, as he usually does, when he mentioned that you can't stop Aaron Rodgers. You can't stop Devontae Adams. These guys are going to get their numbers, but you can also limit them from letting other guys beat you and letting Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon and Valdez Scantling and these other guys go off. So I think the 49ers just find a way to pull it out. And, as anybody who watches the team knows, the second you start doubting Jimmy Garoppolo and people go off about how awful he is and how terrible he is, he rebounds and he comes and he silences everybody. And it's just like
this is the week
cycle that never ends. So he's due to not necessarily have a great game, but I think he'll be more than fine. And I think everybody's going to talk about the West Coast team going to Green Bay and playing in the cold. Jimmy Garoppolo grew up in suburb of Chicago. He's from Illinois. Illinois gets freezing in the winter too. I think he'll be more than fine. And I just think as much as people talk about, having to tackle guys like A.J. Dillon in the cold, try tackling Deebo Samuel in the cold for 60 minutes. It's going to be a rough game for the Packers, and I think the 49ers just find a way to win.
Well, talk your talk. Talk that talk. I ain't mad at you, bro.
I like that.
Did you want to chime in, Booby, or you good on the prediction type?
Well, no, I was just going to say, just kind of piggybacking off what he said. I'm going to make sure that I tweet to Jimmy this week that you trash, so he can be motivated.
Booby, what? Booby.
Well, he trying to motivate him. He said so he can be motivated.
But Booby, that doesn't look motivating, right? Like even when we are saying, "Hey, Jimmy, you kind of missed this throw a little bit," that doesn't come up motivated. We get killed for things like that.
See, no, you just got to understand it's a mind thing. You know what I'm saying? Every time we talk trash about him, he show up. So let's keep talking.
Oh my God. Yo, Booby. No, but you know what? No, but what Jordan said is absolutely correct, right? Based on what you just saw from this game, based on the injury that came out of this game, right? And the injury that he's been dealing with, this is the exact time that everyone leaves Jimmy Garoppolo for dead. Case in point, against the Rams, right? Against the Rams, right? Like everybody was like, "Oh, the thumb, he can't do it." And look, like this is literally the spot where Jimmy Garoppolo lifts up the people that have been supporting him this entire time and knocks everybody else down who hasn't been supporting him. So I agree with Jordan and with Booby. It's like as soon as you feel like this is it for Jimmy is when he like throws mud in your eye, and this would be the game to do it.
Yeah. And I think, too, it won't be just about Jimmy and Aaron. I think the formula that they went with against the Cowboys, I think in the first 15 minutes of the game, the 49ers had the ball for like 11 minutes. Cowboys had the ball for like 2-3 minutes. Had like 7 yards, 6 yards. So that's the formula they need to go about. Like, let's not play back and forth with Aaron Rodgers. We really don't want to get into that type of game with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let's play our game and control the clock, you know what I'm saying? And score, whether it's 3 or 7, and then play good solid defense, solid special teams, make our kicks, and let's see how it goes.
I hope for y'all's sake that's where it go, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the bad apple out the bunch here. I just can't bet against it. I know.
I'm tired of this 49ers hater. Like, get him, Jordan. I'm tired of this 49ers hater, bro. I really am, man. He invites us on his platform, and then he gonna sit here and disrespect us, man. Like, this is wild.
I promise, bro. It's not I promise you, it's not that, because I really want to. I would love to see a Berman Bowl like that. You know how epic that would be. Like, just even just from a content standpoint, like y'all really have turned into my brothers. Like, we could all week just start smacking stuff.
Every week every single day we would do a stream.
You know what I think? You know what I think it is? It's because he knows the Berman Bowl can't happen. Only one can make it. So if the 49ers keep winning, he's worried Buffalo won't make it. Maybe that's why he's picking against them.
That is precisely. And I was going to say, I swear on God, that's where I was going. The thing is, in history, how it's either been one or the other. So if I really ride with y'all and I pick y'all, that means I'm in the way low-key betting against my Bills. And I just can't do that, man. I need my Bills to get one. We need one. Y'all had one.
Y'all do.
A few. And you know what I mean? Like,
and we're with you.
Just don't bet, and it'll be all right. Don't bet.
I got you. I ain't gonna bet. But I'm gonna just for this take, because of that, I'm gonna go with my man Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna say that I know what Jordan's take is about, like the cold and the weather there and the field kind of slowing down the offense. Aaron Rodgers has been playing there now for almost 20 years. I feel like the cold, the turf or the grass, none of that stuff has an issue with him at all. I feel like he's going to come out. It's going to be one of those games like they just said Josh Allen wasn't going to be able to throw in the cold in Buffalo in 0 degrees. Aaron Rodgers is used to that thing. It's what he does. I feel like it's going to be probably it's not going to be a blowout by any means, but it's going to be one of those games where they're going to pull away towards the end. It's going to be a good game throughout. Aaron Rodgers is going to find that way in the fourth quarter to throw a touchdown or two. Like it's going to be one of those 28-17 games. I feel you.
No,
sorry, Booby.
No, You know, I just
He
think,
said no.
I just think we play those guys good. You know what I'm saying? Just like the first game this year. You know what I'm saying? We play Green Bay good. You know, and I would say, you know, to brag on our little run, we always smack Green Bay. We don't fear them. Green Bay.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I just gave you my whole
fear
logic and reasoning. I'm not perfect. Well, I'm gonna tell you what though. Because I do tally site every week. I drop my picks for all of the games. I'm gonna just tell you on tally site, I actually did pick y'all, but for the sake of like, you know, being real with my listeners and all that stuff, I'm not flip-flopping. I really picked it. If I was gonna bet money, I would bet on y'all just based on history on how y'all play these boys.
Yeah, we're gonna take the championship belt. We're gonna take that double discount belt thing he be doing.
Yo, Boobie got me hyped, man. I'm about to run through a wall, man. Boobie, you better chill, man. You better chill, man. It's Tuesday.
Boobie got us ready.
It's Tuesday, man. The game ain't until Saturday. Don't make me break through a wall, man. God.
Jamal mad at me.
When I walked
Jamal and Vader Joe mad at me because I said 17. Listen, the one thing I did say on the show at the very beginning that I'm still very honest about, I don't trust that quarterback. And I know Sunday Jimmy played well. I know he played well. He don't consistently play well. For stretches. So I mean, like, I'm sorry. I just can't see Jimmy going. And Boobie kind of said it without saying it, but y'all don't want to go back and forth with Aaron Rodgers if he's on like that. So like I'm not. I swear on God, I'm not dissing y'all, man. I love y'all so much. Gina, shout out to my girl Gina. I love Gina. Gina repping the Bay. Shout out to Gina. All my people's out there. Like trust me, I'm with y'all. But y'all don't want to get into it.
But there's realistically, Spence, there's not a lot of teams that want to get into a back and forth with Aaron Rodgers. So that shouldn't just necessarily apply to the 49ers. And I think that a lot of the optimism that we have as 49ers fans is that they can control the game and put it in a spot where you have him. And look, and I hate to say this, but you don't want your quarterback, you don't want Aaron Rodgers to have all the trust in the game, right? Like you don't want to have that. But when you become one-dimensional and when you look at the way that this defensive line has come across, and if Nick Bosa, not Joey Bosa, by the way, Nick Bosa can play in this game, then things become hairy. So I think it's less about understanding that we know how great Aaron Rodgers is, but when you become one-dimensional and when you look at the frame up of their team, this team is built to do the things that their team isn't. And they've won plenty of regular season games, and they deserve, you know, Mike McCarthy was here for how many years, and he never won 13 straight games in 3 straight years. So I don't want to hear that about like, oh, Matt LaFleur inherited Aaron Rodgers. No. Mike McCarthy had him, and they didn't win 13 straight, for 3 straight years. This is something that nobody does, but it's matchups. It's the way that they're built. And they are healthy, but if this 49ers team can get Warner and Bosa, they are as healthy as they've ever been. And I'll take my chances in a phone booth with those guys, no matter the weather. As long as Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't do Jimmy
Can
Garoppolo.
I say, too, the last time that Aaron Rodgers was having a game where the Niners had to go toe-to-toe, that man in the top right capped off a 99-yard touchdown drive with
Let's
a
go.
touchdown run. I was there in the stands, and they held out. And I'm not saying, obviously, Colin Kaepernick, Boobie, Frank, those guys aren't on this team. But the Niners, there is so I'll put it to you like this. I know you probably feel the same way with the Patriots for a long time, where it felt like no matter what, things are just going to find a way to go wrong. That's how it is for us with the Seahawks. No matter what happens, what team's out there, it just always seems to go wrong. The Packers' only objective, successful game against the 49ers was when half the team was out on the COVID list last year. They won earlier in the season. I'm not taking that away. But it took an Aaron Rodgers masterclass with 37 seconds left on a once-in-a-lifetime throw to Devontae Adams, which he deserves credit for. But I'm just saying, there is a level of confidence. I try to look at things objectively, look at numbers, but I totally get what Boobie said. Once you start beating these teams over and over again, and especially, the teams are different, but Aaron Rodgers is still there, and I know it eats away at him. He's my favorite quarterback of all time. It has to eat away at him that he has never beaten the 49ers in the playoffs. And if he does it again...
He lost to them when they went to the Super Bowl the first time. We ran them out the stadium. It was easy. Light work.
He said light work, man.
But you were on both those teams, man, and you told me the team that was your favorite was the one that made the bowl, and it was that same year that they went to Lambeau. But again, you can upgrade the players, you can upgrade the coaches, but I don't think you can upgrade the vibe, right? Like they still are that team that will get punched in the mouth. Like, look, New Orleans in Jacksonville in week 1 punched them in the mouth. And I know that week 1 is the craziest week for the year, but the Packers still got that, like, I'm taking my ball and go home kind of vibe when things don't go their way, and Rodgers don't care, because Rodgers is still going to be Rodgers. Rodgers is still going to be first team Hall of Fame, like first ballot. Nobody cares about that. And even though he only won 1 bowl, he's still going to be regarded as one of the greatest football players who's ever thrown the football, and nobody can dispute that.
As it
but
should be. Yeah.
I don't think that many people, like, that competitive spirit that he got, like, I don't think that people are really in on that, like, as much as people really believe.
Right.
All right, I feel y'all, and I feel y'all energy. Y'all almost got me ready to switch, but like I said, I got my reason. I'm not hating.
We're not
I just
dunking
got
on
my
you though.
reason.
We're not dunking on you after the 49ers win though either. We're just gonna say, yo, the Berman Bowl's still on because y'all winning this week too. So
Right.
But no, I want it to happen. Like I want it to happen. I'm gonna tell you, like, that's real. So let's switch over. We going over now, and I don't want to take advantage
we're
of
good.
Boobie's.
I might
not
make it, fellas. My battery getting low. But
yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. So Boobie, real quick, then, since your battery's getting low, let's get your take on the Bills Chiefs game. Same thing. You know, how you feel that's gonna end up. Bills win, Bills lose type of score.
Kind of like that first game that happened. Come out and start fast. You know what I'm saying? Come out, be confident like they was last week. Come out, let's do what we do, run our plays, and punch them in the mouth. You know, keep Patrick Mahomes over there on the sideline as much as we can, but also, you know, put pressure on them. You know, don't be out there just looking at them like, oh my God, it's Patrick Mahomes. No, get after his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, go get him. So, you know, the Bills just need to come into the game and attack. Come into the game and attack, be confident, execute. And I think they already showed they can beat these guys. And they owe them one from last year. So get that lick back. You know, that'll be my message to them. Go get that lick back.
So, man, Boobie, look, I'm a DM you Sunday before the game, because I just need you to hype me. Send me a message like that. Like, I don't care what you say back, but the way I need that energy, bro. Because I'm telling you, bring it. I wish I was on the team with you, or either one, just because.
Yeah.
Where you at with it, Jason? All right, I appreciate you, Boobie. We're gonna get at you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, legend, man. We were fighting for you to get more touches, man. We I promise you, bro. Like me and this man and many other people. But man, you'll always be with us, and you pick the 2 best franchises to be a part of, man. I feel like, in my opinion.
I gotta say too, that 2012 team, I put you guys up against anybody. That was the best, most well-rounded roster I've ever seen. And I just have to throw that out there. We always a special place. My favorite 49er team of all time.
Okay, appreciate y'all guys, man. Much love.
All right, man. So, well, Jason, so my man Boobie out of here now. So let's round this thing out. We're gonna get the Bills talk going real quick, and then we're gonna get on out of here and let y'all boys enjoy the rest of y'all night. Where you at with the Bills and Chiefs game, man?
I think you got it. And I think that you have it for several reasons. You present problems on defense that the Chiefs haven't been able to necessarily deal with. And for the people who have automatically said the Chiefs are on the demise, it's based on scheme and people bracketing Tyreek Hill. Now, Patrick Mahomes make other throws. Like, I want you to hit someone else and make other throws, right? Like, we know Travis Kelce, we know all of those other guys that they have, but it's out there. Like, this year, people have been yelling about Patrick Mahomes regressing. I don't necessarily feel like it's regressing. It's now beat us some other way, right? Like we're not going to let you get Tyreek Hill off on that way. Your offense now, if you're able to run the ball a little bit more, lends itself to being able to beat this Kansas City team, and you've already done it. I think it's more about like seeing the ball go through the hoop, and now you know. Like, this isn't some unspeakable task that you guys have in front of you. This is something that you guys as a roster and as the team that you're built can do. And you almost did it last year. Like, that's the thing about it, is when you look at last year, you almost did it. That's fine. This year, you did it in their stadium. They're not the same team, right? They're not the same team. Right. Defensively, they've gotten better. They have. But I feel like right now, with the style of football you guys have been playing, Josh Allen's been playing at a much higher level right now. Stephon Diggs is still unguardable. I don't care who the other person on the other side is not going to be able to guard him. And I think that you guys still have the upper hand in this game. And I still believe you guys are going to win this game. I really do. I don't have a score prediction for you guys. If I was taking money line, I would take Bills in this game. The Bills are going to win this game because of the way that you guys have been ascending week after week. And not everybody gets to play Pittsburgh in their first round of games. And they made it on some weird circumstances. And it's crazy for Big Ben to come out and say, well, we know we shouldn't probably be here, and we're probably not going to be here for long. And it's just like, what, man? Like, Najee Harris even like put him on IG, was like, man, what? Like, what are you even talking about at this point? But you guys have built the tougher road. You have the better defense right now, and I think that you guys are ready to change the narrative around this Chiefs team, and I think that you're the team that's able to do it. So I got you guys in this game.
I'm with you. Where you at with it, my man Jordan?
I am running to the bank, taking out all of my money and putting it on the Bills. I'm not actually doing that, but in my mind, I want I want to have a confident, electric prediction, because this is why I like the Bills. All right. Styles make fights. It's not about talent to me always in the NFL, which is one of the reasons why I love the game of football. It's about matchups. And I think that you could argue that the Buffalo Bills constructed their team. They obviously wanted to build a good roster, but they constructed this team with the idea of, we're going to have to go through Kansas City at some point. It's been no secret since that, they've been really good for a while, but since that 2018 year, when they really exploded onto the scene, that they were kind of the team to beat. And I just think with what they have on the back end, they're so good with Poyer and Hyde eliminating those big plays over the top. I think obviously losing Trey White, who I think you could argue is the best corner in football, he's obviously in the discussion among the best, was tough. But you can get by with Dane Jackson and Levi Wallace. I don't think either is such a liability that I'm sitting here and, Andy Reid circling these guys in the film room and, they're game planning around that. The biggest thing that stood out to me for the first time these teams played, the Bills had 9 different players register a pressure. They combined for 25 pressures against Patrick Mahomes. 49ers fans, remember, if you get after Patrick Mahomes, he stops looking like Superman, and he looks like a regular, normal, I don't say average because he's too good for that, but you can make him look uncomfortable. When he gets uncomfortable, he starts putting the ball in harm's way. He starts panicking. He starts putting the ball where it shouldn't be. So I just think the Bills are built so perfectly to match up with them. And I'm going to give you 2 guys who I think have a really big game in this one. I think we're going to see Ed Oliver, who's one of my favorite players in the NFL, have a great game. And I think we're going to see Gregory Rousseau have a coming out party of sorts in the playoffs and come out and just have a play or two where you see that freak athleticism, that freak size, and that just I loved him as a prospect coming out. I'm really big on NFL draft stuff. I was shocked that he fell to Buffalo, where Buffalo got him, and I thought the fit was just perfect. So I really think that as good as Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox and, Motor has been and Josh Allen's been, the defense is really going to come out and make a statement. And I think we're going to be having a discussion come Monday where everyone's unfortunately not focused on the Bills and instead is focusing on what the hell happened to Patrick Mahomes, because that Bills defense is going to give him some looks and some issues that they frankly haven't had in half the season or so, the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Like, and that I was in a spaces earlier where I was saying, one of the things locally, we obviously talk about the Bills defense, but nationally, obviously right now, everybody's on Josh Allen because it was like the perfect offensive game, no punts, no 4th downs, no turnovers. We scored on every drive. And I mean, that's one, it's the first time in history. So I want to celebrate it. I don't want to act like it's not that great, but defensively, man, we have the number 1 defense in the league and we've been playing like it even into the playoffs. And then, it's just incredible to me that, like you said, we're without Trey White. We're without Trey White, and we still have maintained the best secondary. Now, it helps when you got a first-team All-Pro and a second-team All-Pro safety back there kind of making sure that there's no big plays. That helps. But dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to have that defense. And in history, when you have a team that has a top 3 offense and a top 3 defense, we have the first defense. But when you have both of those things combined, It's really tough for me to remember a time when a team that had both of those things didn't make it to the big one. So I'm not calling it that we're going to make it to the big one and win the big one, but I'm saying like that's what I'm resting my case on. So I'm going Buffalo Bills in this one. I'm thinking it's going to look a lot like Week 5. I do. I think it's going to look a whole lot like Week 5 because like Jordan said, I agree. We're built for this team. Like the reason why this team is constructed the way that they are, the reason why we drafted Greg Rousseau, like Jordan mentioned, is because we needed to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win this one. I'm not saying it's going to be like, this past weekend, 47-17, but I'm thinking more along the lines like 35-21. I feel like it's going to be one of those games. Pat Mahomes is going to be Pat Mahomes, but we're gonna shut Tyreek Hill, not shut him down, but we're gonna shut him down to the point like he was in that Week 5 game. Yo, fellas, we went 20 minutes over. I appreciate y'all for kicking it with me. We got Dawn in the comments saying 32-27. She thinks it's going to be a little bit closer than I do. And that's cool. That's cool. As long as we win, I don't give a damn, Dawn. Shout out to my homegirl, Dawn. That's my girl right there. So, Jason, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you, where they can get your content and what you got coming up?
No, first of all, I want to say before we get to all that, appreciate you for having me on here. I love what you do. And, like I said, we're Bills Mafia. Once, the 49ers are out, obviously we'll have a different discussion when the Super Bowl lines up the way that it does. But a lot of respect for you, man, and a lot of respect for Bills Mafia. And I'm happy to be here to talk football outside of the 49ers sometimes, right? Like, I feel like we get bogged down a little bit in like talking too much about this team. And I'm tired of regurgitating the same things over and over, even though that makes me a Jimmy Garoppolo hater when I say that he's a roller coaster every single week, when people outside of the team that, watch them feel the same exact way. But hey, I'm a hater. But hey, follow me at Jason Aponte 2103 on Twitter, Jason Aponte on YouTube. A lot of content this week going into Packers week. Because the game is Saturday. So it's not a Sunday game. We have a lot to cram in. It's obviously Tuesday, so we had to turn the page from laughing at Cowboys fans to now focusing on the Packers and figuring out how that game goes. But yeah, that's where you guys will find me. And Spence, thank you, man. And it was awesome to hang with you and talk with Boobie, man. That was a fun moment for me, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime, you and Jordan, but that's why when Jordan put the meme on the joint, I was like, wait, you always have an open invitation, man. You can jump on whenever you want.
But that's Jordan though, right? Like, it's just like again, the way that we get ourselves across is like a lot of what me and Jordan do on 49ers Twitter is like movie references. And I hope you get it. Like, and it's like this.
No, I love it.
Get it. But I know you got it like right off the rip. And that's what the funny part about it was.
Well, and also to your other point, before I bring Jordan in to kind of exit out of here, I agree with you too. Sometimes you get boggled down in your home team, and all you're doing is talking about the 49ers. All I'm doing is talking about the Bills. And not that I don't love the Bills, and not that you don't love the 49ers, but you're football fans and you're sports fans. So a lot of times it's just refreshing to get outside, and that's kind of why it was easier tonight. Like, I'm just like talking to Boobie about both teams. Like, let's talk about both experiences, and let's talk about, because sometimes it's just refreshing to get a different perspective and to talk about a different fan base and a different team. So I appreciate you guys, both of you. My respect for you guys is through the roof, man. So Jordan, let's same thing. Let's get your handle. Let everybody know where they can find your work and your content. You do great work, and I mean this. Like, Jason does great work, and I always big him up. And I feel like I don't speak to you as much. I just want to make sure I tell you, bro. Like, you do phenomenal work, and I keep up with the work that you do. Keep doing it, man. Like, you do amazing, phenomenal work. And I'm saying it that dramatic because it's real. Like, yo, real talk.
That boy Jordan is like that, as the kids say. He's like that. He's like that. Like, he's like that, as the kids say.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it was a pleasure to be on here with you guys. I appreciate the invite. You know how much respect I have for the two of you. And as somebody who grew up, I was in high school during those Tony Montana years. So that, for me, watching those guys on special teams and Boobie jumping on the dugout, waving the flag, waving the towel on the bench, getting that, like, it brings back a wave of nostalgia and happy memories for me. It's some of the most fun I've had, not only as a sports fan, but in my life. So thank you for allowing me to kind of relive some of that tonight. You can find me on Twitter at SplashCousin. I try to tailor my stuff more towards 49ers content because that is the team I cover, but I'm a fan of the sport first and foremost. So I'm always happy to talk about anything. And then I do write for Niners Nation. I cover the team for them as well. They are the 49ers chapter of SB Nation. So I'm always honored to come on to Buffalo Rumblings and do some, some kind of SB Nation collaboration here. We're extended family in a way. So, and, again, I just wanted to say, again, thank you so much for having me on here. And Jason isn't lying in the slightest. Like, we literally, like, anybody who remembers that, like, those videos or pictures of the guys at sporting events that are wearing one jersey and they immediately take one up, like, that's us. If the Niners get bounced, I immediately am throwing on my Stephon Diggs jersey or my Josh Allen jersey. And it's just because I have the utmost respect for fans that stick with their teams through thick and thin, that are there making noise, that are there sitting in the cold when their team may not be the greatest. And I just think that the Bills have exemplified that for my entire life. And I can't think of a more deserving franchise. So I'm pulling for you guys. And I hate to end it on this, but I do have to say, if it does end up being that Berman Bowl, the Niners are a team that's built to give you guys fits. I think you guys are built to stop the Chiefs. I don't know if you're built to stop the 49ers. And it's incredible when you think about this whole Jimmy Garoppolo versus Josh Allen dynamic, because that might not matter. If the I think Kyle Shanahan would turn it into an Army-Navy game if he had his way. So we'll come to that if we get to it. But thank you for having me on, Jay Spence, dude. You're awesome. And, any 49ers fans watching this, please follow and subscribe to the channel. He is just incredible. And thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It'll be fun if we get there, and I, for real, I'm hoping that it gets there, because it would be nothing but love for me to have the entire week with y'all. It would be like nonstop, back to back, just bombs and banger episodes. So I'm praying that happens, man. Good luck this weekend. All love to y'all. And hey, everybody that listens to me, y'all know how I do it over here. It's your boy JSpenceTheKing, and I represent that Buffalo Rumblings podcast and YouTube network. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all love each other and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative, go Bills. Y'all can do your Niners joint. I know y'all got your Niners joint.
Let's go Niners. That's it.
Yeah,
and punch the Packers in the mouth. Like, we don't really got like a rallying cry because Booby left. We don't do Tony Montana no more. Like this. Well, we can't play Super Gremlin, right, Jordan? Like, we can't play Kodak's new joint. Like, we can't play that. Like,
it's
Kodak buns, bro. He's buns.
I mean, but that's our joint though right now. Like, we walk out with the boombox, and Super Gremlin is a top 10 hit right now, and that's how.
Let me tell you, he wasn't like, it was a little subtle, but Jimmy was vibing a little bit to Super Gremlin.
Oh yeah, he was.
When I saw, in hindsight, after I saw that, no way the 49ers were losing that game. When Jimmy had this little thing he was doing with his hand when he was going out, wasn't super noticeable, but I'm like, man, Jimmy's vibing in that Kodak. 49ers are a dangerous team.
I gotta get some Griselda music out to y'all. We're gonna chop it up after this. Let me hit the intro. We're gonna get some. We're gonna get some Griselda out to y'all real quick. But stick around real quick. I'm gonna do this outro. Go Bills.
Code of conduct.